Okay. Oh, wait. Oh, here, I'll stand on this side. It's about lacrosse. I played lacrosse in high school. So, alright. So when I first went into high school, kind of felt left out about all the clubs and sports because I wanted to be in something, but I didn't have any hobbies, and I felt left out. So one day my friend Kylie was like, "Will you go to this girls lacrosse meeting with me after school?" And I was like, "Sure, why not?" I didn't think anything of it. And I went with her. That's like moral support. And sure enough, we were on the team because you didn't have to have any experience and you didn't have to try it out. So it was pretty cool, and that was good for me because I hadn't played lacrosse before. And I think it was Nebraska's first girls high school lacrosse team, which was really cool. And it was the first year they were doing it at our school. So we're like, sure, yeah, let's try it. So that's my team. It became one of my favorite pastimes. I was spending so much time with it, with practice, playing wall ball, exercising, going on runs, traveling, everything. It was a lot, considering I hadn't played any real sports before that. And yeah, so at the end of my speech, you'll learn a little more lacrosse, through the history of it, the equipment, the field, the players, a little bit about the game, and the impact it has on a player. Okay, so for the background, it goes back, I think, as early as 1100 AD. The Native Americans. Originally, it was called stickball, and when they would play it, they'd have like hundreds to like thousands of people in like a giant field. It'd be like from a few hundred yards to like a few miles wide, and they would just play. And originally, the balls were wooden, and then they switched them out for deer skin that was stuffed because the wooden balls were too hard. And then the netting of their sticks was made out of deer tissue. So yeah, and they would.
Probably what they made the dream catchers out.
Mm-hmm. Maybe, yeah. And yeah, it was a good game for their warriors to get strong and stuff and help them out, but also they would do it for religious reasons and then just for fun. Just like a little fun thing they would do. Okay, quickly go over the equipment. I'll really briefly explain the difference between the girls and the guys, because the guys' game is a lot more physical and rough. So they have more, padding and stuff, so they have helmet, shoulder pads, elbow pads, gloves, knee pads, and cleats, and a mouth guard. The girls don't even get a helmet, they just have a headpiece to cover their eyes, mouth guard, cleats, and yeah. The uniform for the girls, it's either you're going to see a t-shirt or a tank top, and then shorts or a skirt, which is skirt with spandex shorts underneath. For me, tank top and skirt. Wasn't a huge fan of the skirt, but, it was what it was. And for balls, you can find them in any color, but typically in games, they're going to be white or yellow because you can see them the most. Okay, a little bit how the field looks. This is for high school. High school, we had 10 players total. This shows 12, but I think that's college. So you have 10, so you got your goalie, you got 3 midi, 3 defense, and 3 attack, which is your offense. And basic rules of games would last like 60 minutes. You'd have 25-minute halves and then a 10-minute halftime. Yeah, and you'd be set up like this. So on the goalie side, you got your 3 defense and the other team's attack. In the middle, you got your 3 midi, the other team's midi. And then on the opponent's goalie, you got your 3 attack and then the opponent's defense. It's very similar. It's like a mix between hockey and soccer. And we play on soccer fields all the time. But yeah. Okay, so basic rules of the game. Before starting a game, the ref has to check your stick to make sure it's legal. So you'll hold it up like this. The guys with their lacrosse stick, they actually have a big pocket, so they don't have to really worry about that. But the girls, we don't really have one, so they have to check it and make sure it's level, not illegal. Because you have a pocket, it's kind of like cheating. Yeah. The game, the objective of the game is pretty simple. Cradle with the ball down the field, catch, pass, and try to shoot the ball into the goal. Pretty simple. Basic terms. I brought my handy-dandy lacrosse stick just to demonstrate so it makes more sense. Cradling is a term when you have the ball on your stick and you're running down the field because you can't run with a straight stick because the ball's going to fall out. So cradling is just this, keeps the ball moving. Do a little left hand, a little harder. Catching and passing, you can't really catch with a straight stick. Kind of has to hit with the back of the net to kind of fall in, so you kind of got to give with it. A little, yeah. Passing, just, Yeah. And checking is a term when the girl has the ball and you want to get the ball out of her stick. The most legal way to check it is to, like, kind of do that with your stick. There's illegal ways, like, you can't, like, hit the stick, you can't hit her hand, you can't cover, that's illegal, that'd be a penalty. That's checking. And then on the screen, she's just playing defense. This is called a draw. This is what midi does. So they just kind of stand. I've done it in practice before, but they have both players stand with their stick like this, and then it goes like this, and they put the ball in between the backs of the sticks, and then the ref blows the whistle, and then they kind of flick it out, and whoever catches it is on offense. That's how it starts. These are round balls. Those are hard to get, but you just gotta scoop it and stuff. But with penalties, they're kind of complicated. Like a minor penalty, there's a thing called shooting space. So when a girl's going to shoot as a defender, it looks like somebody's going to go shoot. You have to throw your stick out and yell crash. So all your teammates know to do this to help prevent the ball. But if you go body first, that's called shooting space. So you'll get like everybody will line up. It's kind of like a free throw in basketball if you think about it. But everybody lines up on the 8-meter, and then you have to stand behind the girl. That's one of the penalties. You have yellow cards and red cards. Yellow cards, if you get a yellow card, you're out for the game for 2 minutes, and you have to stand out next to the scoreboard people. You have to sit out for 2 minutes, and your team's one man down for 2 minutes, and then you can go back in. If you get 2 yellow cards, you're out for the game. Red card, if you get a red card, you're out for the game. I think I saw it one time, a girl got checked in the back of the head, and she was kind of like laying on the ground, so the girl was out and got a red card, so it wasn't a good time. But yeah, just some like basic terms. Okay, so now, the overall impact. These are my team again. For me, it was like one big thing was responsibility, because I didn't have a job at the time when I first played. So to go from like literally just going to school and like coming home and doing nothing, to like having to like go to practice several times a week, traveling for games, exercising, going on runs, playing wall ball, like hanging out with my teammates. It was a lot different, but you know, it taught me a lot about being on time to places, like making sure I'm at the games and everything. So that was a lot of responsibility at first. And then also, of course, you know, teamwork, but with that comes communication, because I was a defender, so I'd have to yell all the time. Like, I constantly had to be like, you know, ball, you know, top left, ball middle, ball bottom right, and I was just constantly yelling. Like I said, with like crashing, you have to yell. There's a term called a pick, which is like as a defender, you have your girl, you're on her, she's attacked, and then one of their other attackers will come up behind you and kind of do this, and then the girl you're on will kind of like fake you out, and she'll like get open. So with that, I have to yell my other defenders what just happened. But yeah, there's a lot of yelling, and it like really boosted my confidence, because I was a pretty, you know, introverted person. And then I'd have to like scream on the field, and by the end of the season, I was like super comfortable with all my teammates, and I didn't even care anymore. So it was really cool. But yeah, so from this presentation, kind of got a little background of lacrosse, players, the field, the equipment, a little bit about the game, and the impact it has on somebody. It's a really cool sport. You know, if you know any little kids that want to start a new sport, play lacrosse, because it's, you know, still expanding in the Midwest. It's more of like an East Coast and West Coast kind of thing. So yeah, it was a really fun sport.
Cool.
Good job. Yeah.